And how do we start? Well, we start with establishing our core values for within the classroom. What are the core values that we commit to and we live by? And some of the key words that I've really been using this year with my students are hope, and how hope is how we start, how it leads to faith, how faith then leads to optimism. It's a self efficacy or a self assurance that a positive outcome is going to happen. And we also are virtuous and spread virtuousness. I particularly like George Mason University core values and beliefs. They say by focusing on what people believe and value, then positively build upon this understanding, we have the potential for impact far more wide reaching than if we approach leadership development as a problem solving activity. Their core values are respect, make a difference, integrity, authenticity, courage, service, humility, and wisdom. These are the very core values that I use within my classroom, along with I like what Spark School says about service, persistence, achievement, responsibility, and kindness. Again, we're growing with a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. And it's all about establishing hope within the classroom, setting those goals, and living by our core values through integrity, collaboration, and excellence. We really begin to establish positive leadership with respectful engagement and communication, and that starts on day one. I really live by the three positive affirmations to every one actionable feedback. I try to promote a learning community. And what is equity centered SEL? It's a process whereby teachers and students build strong and lasting respectful relationships founded on the application of similarities and differences. Learn to critically examine the root causes of inequity and develop collaborative solutions to community and social problems. So I really try to establish that type of positive setting within my classroom, and I promote diversity. According to McKinley, when the classroom communication is effective, the teacher benefits, the student grows. Strong, effective communication help make learning explicit, guides the student to set their goals, increase extensions in learning, develops that connection between the teacher and the student, and creates a positive experience for both. The power of positive communication involves the family of the student as well. We're trying to have a community of positive because it deepens that relationship between the teacher and the student, but it also gives the teacher motivation and the student support. I've included an example of parent communication. I try to establish the same positive communication I have with my students with their parents. If I have to give an actionable feedback, I try to give it directly to the student. I don't go through the parent channel unless it's absolutely necessary. But what I absolutely always do is when I have something positive to say about the student, I not only give it to the student, but I also include the parent. And I do show that here through an example of parent communication. The organizational structure of the classroom is extremely important. I try to give flexible operational systems because I want to have empowered teachers within the classroom. If they have unified insights where you're bringing the teacher, the student, and the parent together, we can then begin to address those learning gaps. We have a blended learning classroom now, especially with our hybrid learning. I've got some students remote and some that are face-to-face, but it's all about the development of the whole child. As educators implement different mental maps, where classrooms are communities of fluid networks, interpersonal connections, and motivated students with a strong inclination to grow, learn, and transcend the basics to serve a larger purpose. I want to cultivate a classroom culture of learning. I set high expectations through the parent, through engagement of the student, through my leadership in positive strategies, and through the structure, the organizational structure of the classroom. We have few rules, but we do have them. The students are very well aware of them. We all take responsibility for our own actions and behaviors. We have a general respect, but that respect begins to grow as we get to know one another, and we're always putting others first. In order for students to grow and produce their best work, they must feel safe and secure in their learning environment. And again, we're looking at that zone of proximal development by Vygotsky in 1978, where educators know where their student is at today and they know the quickest marker to success. That gap is where teachers should teach, always one step ahead of their student. And we're goal setting based on the SMART method of planning. Interpersonal helpings begin day one in my classroom. It's all about the people, the people, the people. It's our students. The leader in the classroom must foster deviant positive performance by enabling affirmative positioning in the classroom, develop virtuousness, promoting the very best of the individual, and the awareness to give those gifts to others. We start day one. And how does the classroom teacher foster those interpersonal helpings? Number one, we need to listen to our students. We need to get to know them. We need to pay close attention to all of their nonverbal cues and body language, even those online. We want to be culturally competent. We want to be proactive in addressing any type of conflict. We want to engage our students to develop their interpersonal helpings as well. It's about living virtuous lives, being the very best, striving and thriving for the best every day, doing the right thing, and then by giving those gifts of virtuousness to others.